I don't want to scare anybody.
All righty. Well, welcome to the April meeting of Racing Fingers Quilt Guild. It looks like we got great attendance. There was a birthday cake. I don't know what more you could ask for, really. You know, birthday cake. And if it's your birthday this week, raise your hand, Bonnie. Here's my hand. Okay, we're going to start out tonight with some winners. So listen, Pat, you can come and sit right here. Pat, have a seat right here. Not your hand. I see you found your clipboard. That's a good thing. All right, so you have won a kit from Leslie. So listen carefully. See, when they think they win something, how quiet they get? They're very quiet. We want to do Coral Shattuck. Am I pronouncing your name right? Okay. Julie Swenson, Lisa Trippi, Patty Mirabali, Mirabali. No, you said it right the first time. All right, now I already forgot how to say it. Ginger, Sandy, Alfaya, Sue Mitchell, Judy Russell, Betty Jane, okay. Joe Pritchard, Sophie Bastion, and Bonnie Godwin. Please see Leslie for your box. Okay.
She's got it all.
Okay. And now Pat's going to tell us who is visiting and if we have any new members tonight.
First of all, I had to print some extra copies of the April newsletter, so if somebody would like to print the first one, let me know. I have a couple there. Okay, visitors tonight are Pam O'Donnell, who came with Jane Robbins.
We know her.
Yeah, we know her.
Pam works so cool. And we have a new member, Kathy Osterlitz.
So Kathy lives in my neighborhood. We're slowly but surely converting the neighborhood. It's Aurora and I and Cynthia and Kathy.
I don't quite know what happened, but someone told me that I really should leave the clipboard that we used for the signing here in case I was not here. Well, I'm never going to do that again because it's disappeared. So if you find the clipboard, let me know.
Okay. So, some reminders. The Opportunity Quilt is moving right along. And if you took one of the blocks to make, it's due tonight. So please don't tell us the dog ate it because we don't have a lot of extra fabric. So if you have finished your block for the Opportunity Quilt, you can return it to Cindy Sanders. And I will tell you in a little secret, Michelle O'Neill and Kim Weber met today to design the art quilt, art piece. Am I saying that the right art quilt piece term? To go along with the Opportunity Quilt, so we're excited for that as well. So there'll be more coming on that, but we're in good shape, getting ready to go with that for next year. Okay? And then we also have, don't forget, our November Quilt Challenge. It's to do a traditional or untraditional or just crazy wild log cabin. And if you need more information, it's on GroupWorks, and we're going to force you to go to GroupWorks to find out more information about that. And if you need help, then call Aurora, okay? Or you can call me, or you can call for the GroupWorks. Nora. No, Aurora, because Nora might be off in the ball yonder. Okay. So we are decorated first aid quilt, a kit, see, just a quilt on the break. In case, like, in case you sew your finger like Patty did and the needle breaks off into it.
And you can thank Pam for that, since she
was a trooper.
Pam the nurse, and she has a magnet and some really good forceps or pull her out of hemostats. Okay, tweezers,
You
whatever.
never know when you're gonna need a hemostat.
Right. And I think I have my grandma's needle that's kind of curved, like should we need to do stitches or anything. So, all right. Okay, well. So don't worry at all about coming to this retreat. Now, Patty, I don't know if alcohol was involved in this accident or not. Okay, but you are welcome to bring alcohol.
Can I just say one thing? Thank you, Pam, for coming to the rescue.
Yes, yes. Let's give Pam a hand. The first time I went out there, I didn't know there was places like that in Florida, where you could die and no one would ever know. It's so remote. You would never be found. But it was raining, they didn't want to get their hair wet, so they were just letting Patty, whatever. But thunder lightning, okay.
He wants to go to the ER on a Saturday night.
We didn't even know what county we were in. I know what knuckles are supposed to do. And we're gonna get that information put in here.
And we'll be taking up a collection for the defibrillator between Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll all get around that. Okay. So this year, it's the end of my this year will be my second year, and they told me it was a 2-year term. I didn't know it could have only been 1 year, and here I am. So at the end of this year, somebody else will be president, and we think we know who might do it. And yes, and it's way less work than what she's doing right now, to be honest. And the people that we're going to look for is we need to be somebody who is interested in being on the nominating committee. And our selling point for the nominating committee is that means you can't be nominated to do something. So I've already talked to Karen Myron. I said, Karen, they can't make you do anything if you're on the nominating committee. And the other role that we'll have open is the program, and secretary. So usually, you can have 1 or 2 people doing the program, and then. There's a co-chair already, somebody who. Oh, there is somebody who's willing, and so if you're. To be the second person. So think about that. You have now until I think October to think about that, and then you'll be nominated regardless of your wishes. Of course they're eligible. Yes. Oh yeah. Well, you could be on the nominating committee. There you go. Something for everybody. All right. So our program is going to be on Zoom. It's she's a nationally known podcaster on quilting. She's from Canada, but I actually think she's going to be speaking to us from Australia. So who knows what time of the night it is over there.
She had a chance, it's 7 a.m.
Oh, it's 7 a.m.? Okay, that's not so
Her
bad.
son, I think, is down there, and then she had an opportunity to teach. She said, I can't possibly pass this up unless you tell me that I have to do the podcast from my home in Canada.
Yeah. So she's going to teach us how to be organized. It just is one simple Zoom, and we're going to be organized, right? That's all we need is a little nudging. So we're going to try to get as many of our routine things done, and at 7 o'clock they're going to cut me off, and we're going to go straight to her. So Nikki Skinner and Ruth, come up and let's do block of the month. Da, da, da.
I'm going to be rude.
anyone who's new and doesn't know what the block of the month is, each month we hand out a new pattern for a block. You are asked to go home, make that block, bring it back, put it in the box, and you get a ticket. And if your number is pulled, then you win all of these blocks. This month we got 20 turned in. This is called Grandma's Donut. So whoever wins can make a nice 4x5 quilt, or they can put a sashing and make 2 quilts, whatever they want to do. We have 20 blocks this month, so you want to pull a winner?
Go ahead, Jess. Draw Mindy, she's never.
Ready? 540495.
That's me.
And for the minutes, Sue, what is your last name, Sue? Your last name? Sue Mitchell. Okay. And do we have, Wendy Peterson has one more block, but she couldn't make it tonight. So you'll have 21. And while they're taking the picture, is Jan Beeman here? Because I believe she won this month, and somebody had made the block but wasn't here to turn it in. So Jan Beeman, you have one more block from the time that you won. Just hang on to it. Yeah. Okay. And then next month is probably going to be the easiest block that you've ever done, the Friendship Star. This is some finished ones. I made one kind of traditional where everything matched. And then I thought, well, what if? And I made a few that were totally random looking. The critical thing when you're making a Friendship Star is that you make sure that your points are rotating in the right direction, all the same direction. And it doesn't matter if they're going to rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. Doesn't matter. So, the easy way to do that, you have your 2 5-inch squares, a light and a dark, and you're going to place those, well, you can't really tell on here because I sewed it partway together, but you place the light on top of the dark, draw your line, and sew very close to that line. Because if you sew too wide, you're not going to be able to square them up to a 4.5-inch square. So make your half square triangles, and do it all nice and scrappy like this if you want. Press towards the dark. Then you've got a 4.5-inch square in the middle, 4.5-inch squares on your corners, and just sewing the block together. It's really easy, really easy. So we should be able to get a lot of them next year, or next month, I mean. So if you remember, back in, I'm going to say June of last year, we kind of put out a challenge that if you were to make the block of the month every month and just keep it at home, make 2, turn one in and make one out of your own favorite fabric and keep it, then you would have a sampler quilt. After a year, you would have 12-inch blocks and you could make a sampler quilt. So Aurora and I have both finished our sampler quilts. So I can't give you this pattern.
And she made me promise I would do it last minute. And then she calls and it's like, oh, I'm behind like 8 blocks.
Is not the only one who said she would do it. Just saying. The 2 settings that you'll see here both came out of this book, and I really, really recommend this book. There's a lot of settings in here. Schoolhouse Sampler, you can probably get it on Amazon. So we're just going to show you our 2. Had you done this and made your blocks, you could also have a sampler quilt done. So, yes, we are. I bought a fat quarter bundle, and I liked the look of all of the things stacked up, but when I got it, I hated the fabric. So this will definitely be gifted somewhere. So the orange that's in there, the orange is just sashing. So you can get very creative. I use EQ8 for designing the block of the month and all this kind of stuff. So if I can't give you this pattern because it came straight from a book, but if you have an idea of a pattern that you want, you can jot it on a piece of paper, send it to me in a text, and I can do it up into a quilt pattern and let you know how much to buy and what to cut and that sort of thing. So there's one option. I used the snuggle on the back, and it's got bamboo batting. Oh, on the bags? Next year. And then Aurora's setting also came from the same book.
And I had a lot of Tula fabric and went, what am I? So I made all of my blocks in Tula, and then I made 2 blocks, and I'm putting together a quilt top for one of my best friends in San Diego, and she'll have to quilt it, but she'll get the same top.
Very nice.
Mine was set on point.
I love that. Very nice.
Okay, so now it's going to take picture.
Very, very nice.
And Tula backing and Tula binding.
This was 108 inch, and I bought it for my Tula Nova, but it's very pretty.
So the pattern for the Friendship Star will be on GroupWorks. I'll put it there tomorrow. And then hopefully you guys, 12-inch blocks, and you can make your sampler quilts.
Can I tell them how we got the Friendship Star this month?
Yeah.
So I made some half square triangles, and I went, oh, those don't go in that block. So then I had like 8 blocks to get done, so I didn't want to do the Dresden. So I thought, oh, I have some half square triangles. I'm going to do a Friendship Star. So Mindy thought that was a good idea, and there it is, right here.
Oh, I quote Nikki all the time.
So as our snowbirds continue to fly back north, this will be Mindy's last meeting this year, and she's going to be going back to Wisconsin. We're not really sure why. But I think we should give her a round of applause for all the work she does. And I went ahead and got EQA because I just knew I needed it, and I haven't opened it either. But Mindy, this summer, I'm going to be busy this summer, doing things I told you I would do. Okay.